Welcome to part 3 of this book. And so far we've read through this book, found out it's just more New World Order propaganda. So continuing with page 59, and we'll finish this up. This is almost done, this book, and then I'll get into some more stuff. Moving into a transparent way of life, as was discussed in the previous chapter, we will likely require an entirely new breed of leadership from what we have today. As we become clear in our values and our visions, these set the tone for who we consider to be truly qualified leaders that can help lead our transformation towards the fulfillment of those ideals. Those qualified leaders of the newly emerging society are not going to be people coming from self-serving agendas, greed, or lust for power and control. The people who are going to be made clear as the leaders that can usher us forward to new paradigms will be people who embody transparency, walk the talk, have integrity, are passionate about creating a better world, and who are good people at the core of their being, ready to serve the greater good of the whole. They will be people that everyone from all sides of the political spectrum can respect. People who seek to unite rather than separate, create harmony rather than strife, inspire rather than spread fear. Such individuals have a presence about them, something inside as well as in their actions, that reveals the quality of a true leader. These are the types of people... Sorry, trying to get comfortable situated. These are the types of people who will be encouraged to step forward as the voice for the whole. And I talked about the last two videos what she is meaning about the whole. It's the group, it's collectivism. When such leaders take up the great work of elevating their consciousness, their vision, and their ability to lead to new levels of mastery through alchemical leadership, then we will see some true progress as a society. This will hopefully bring us to the next stage of the alchemical process, the conjunction, where we start bringing the pieces back together in balance in a harmonious proportion. And she quotes Henry Kissinger here, the New World Order globalist, in some people's opinion, scumbag, which I am in that same camp. Quote, leaders must invoke an alchemy of great vision. It's interesting he mentions, alchemy. The task of a leader is to get his people from where they are to where they have not been. Henry Kissinger is the one, and I have a few videos where he's, continuously called for a new world order. Man, I tell you, sorry about that. Amidst the chaos we have been experiencing, there is a light of hope emerging. There is a saying, great chaos precedes great growth. Out of the chaos, an entirely new system will emerge, or order out of chaos. As the various parts become clear and purified, then they can start coming together to cooperate and find solutions that are going to be win-win-win for everybody. The idea of finding win-win-win solutions is very different from the old paradigm of needing to compromise in order to find agreement and work together. Compromise usually requires a loss or comes at the expense of something valued or desired. In win-win-win, we get creative and stay open to multiple possibilities and perspectives while maintaining clarity of core values and priorities. With win-win-win, all parties involved in the agreement win, feel good about the deal, and the whole, including the environment, also benefit from the solution. Quote, creating more sustainability, unquote, in our world will only come when we start looking for the win-win-win solutions rather than allowing for too much room to compromise. The win-win-win solution will be one that is more balanced, harmonious, innovative, honoring of all sides, and more of a reflection of the true potential that rests upon the core values of our humanity. Alchemical leaders will always work to find this kind of all-around win, continuing to catalyze and refine the group process until such a solution is found. It's easy to identify when such a winning solution is attained because all involved will be smiling and satisfied, including Mother Nature. Examples of this are already emerging in the green business and social responsibility movements. So you know what she's talking about here. As more consumers and investors make the conscious choice to support such efforts, we will be able to create a better world. Guiding lights to a new world. What are the values that we want to see our new society based upon? They will be values that resonate at a core level with the people of today, especially with the imaginal selves of the human race. The millennials, the cultural creatives, the change agents, and social alchemists. Some of these values might even go back to ancient spiritual and universal principles. For as was stated earlier, alchemy has always been intimately connected with a spiritual component. Alchemists always sought out spirit to provide the guiding light and inspiration to continue striving towards a higher ideal, especially when the path became challenging. Consider, for example, the widespread effect that H. Dalai Lama's public teachings have had in altering our Western values. His holiness has become a voice for kindness and compassion that has been respected and admired by many. Tens of thousands of people flock to each event following H.A. Dalai Lama around the world. His wisdom and teachings are so appreciated across the spectrum because they transcend the dogmas of any particular religion. He speaks to the universal principles that underlie most spiritual teachings throughout the ages. Quote, all major religious traditions carry basically the same message, that is love, compassion, and forgiveness. The important thing is they should be part of our daily lives, unquote. So, he pushes pretty much what all the universalist one-worlders, Freemasons, New Agers, and stuff push, is that all religions have, similar, origin, which is, basically traditions and teachings given by these ascended masters, and not, it's obviously not biblical, but it's a part of the New World religion agenda. In addition to the universal teachings being spread by H.H. Dalai Lama, there have been many other spiritual and humanitarian leaders who have influenced modern values, such as Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Ammachi, that's spelled Ammachi, Mahatma Gandhi, Thich Hat, sorry, I can't pronounce some of these names. Thich, spelled Thich, Nat spelling Nhat, and his last name spelled Hanh. Mother Teresa, Joseph Campbell, Krishnamurti, and many more. Consider also the trends in spiritual and mystical themes coming into the movies of late, especially since 1999. Movies such as The Matrix, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Avatar, Sorcerer's Apprentice, The Fountain, Narnia, as well as the viral media and independent documentary movement with What the Bleep. And I think she's talking about, I'll discuss that in a moment. The Secret, Thrive, 3 magic words, which abound with spiritual messages. The fact that so many people continue to crave for more movies with mystical and spiritual themes shows just how much the collective consciousness is yearning for a spiritual rebirth to emerge out of the alchemical soup. So now we know the agenda with these movies. Now, I've had many people who have woken up to the New World Order and the agenda, and they'll use the movies like The Matrix and others as examples of how there are movies in Hollywood that tried to wake us up to the New World Order, and I'll admit in the beginning I kind of thought that way myself. However, when you delve into Gnosticism and you'll find out that she's right, that these movies have what she means by spiritual, mystical spiritual themes, Gnostic and Freemasonic, Kabbalistic themes. So the Matrix really, I mean, I don't want to spend all this time breaking it down, but it really is a Gnostic movie. The red pill, blue pill, and you'll find, you know, some Masonic stuff with that. And you also have, what the heck is that? What the bleep? But anyways, with the Matrix, it's like, how can I say? It's like the Gnostics in the surface come off like they're trying to wake you up to the system, but in all reality, it's a little bit complicated. It's not like things were always, you know, it's like with Christianity. They infiltrated and corrupted Christianity. The Masons, you know, most of them have, in the Rosicrucians, most of them were, you know, secretly Christians, and like Martin Luther being a Rosicrucian member, you know, with his seal, the rose and the cross. You know, it's like they start these corrupt movements, and then years later they come out like the saviors, exposing themselves of movements that they started. So they can, like, for instance, with the Christian thing, they corrupt Christianity, come out and point the finger at the corruption they caused themselves, to call for the movement to reform or abolish, you know, the movement itself. That was the purpose of them infiltrating it. So, you know, I mean, it's like with these movies, you know, it's like, maybe I should do a movie breaking that down with these movies. But I can tell you that The Matrix, while it acted like a movie that was meant to wake us up, it really was just another Gnostic Freemasonic movie. So, okay. We are entering a time where universal spiritual principles can once again come to the forefront to guide our evolutionary process forward. Such universal principles not only transcend religious dogmas that separate mankind, like, you know, Christianity, where Jesus Christ said, "I am the only way." They also harmonize with the philosophical implications of many modern scientific theories. Furthermore, these principles can be utilized as guiding lights to steer our scientific and technological discoveries towards more beneficial, life-honoring applications. As our core values are distilled and clarified, guided by universal wisdom, we can then start finding common ground to work together, united rather than divided. We can also become social alchemists, being more intentional and conscious of the process that we are going through. With this clarity and intentionality, we will be more aware of the steps that must be taken to move forward in the alchemical change process. What practical things can we do to proactively catalyze social change? A possible first step as a social alchemist might be to get involved with communities and groups that represent a cause that we feel called to. By gathering strength in numbers with others of similar values and using social media to self-organize via viral apps, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, and greater synergy can be generated through coordinated efforts. For example, a united effort of implementing core values and exercising the power of the people can be generated by agreeing to how we spend our consumer dollars. If a large enough percentage of the population were to withdraw spending from companies whose values are not consistent with the new value basis of sustainability, transparency, and stewardship, then this would encourage a shift. Notice that she's calling for these alchemical change agents to infiltrate social media groups, Facebook and Google, basically to affect, to help affect their agenda, to help push their agenda. So, by redirecting spending towards consumer products and companies that are aligned with the new paradigms that we want to see more of in our world, we vote with our dollars. Successful examples of this can already be seen in shifts the consumer industry has undergone just since the turn of the new millennium. For example, before 1999, there were not nearly as many options for getting organic foods and natural products at grocery stores. Healthy lifestyle choices like doing yoga, qigong, or being vegetarian were considered woo-woo or things that only hippies did. Driving around in an electric or hybrid car was rare to non-existent. Businesses didn't worry about things like being green, sustainable, or eco-friendly. The movie and entertainment industry was largely devoid of any truly spiritual or mystical themes mystical themes, yet today all these options have become commonplace because of how conscious consumers like the cultural creatives have voted with their dollars. These are very practical examples of steps that people and communities are already starting to take that are catalyzing shifts. But how do we go beyond standard modes of activism and really step into being masterful agents of change? The key to this is learning to go the distance through the final 3 stages of the alchemical process. Recall how Steve Jobs continued to successfully drive Apple forward to perfecting its digital technologies and the art of impacting the world. In a similar way, those imaginal cells of humanity who would become the alchemical leaders of tomorrow can serve a similar role in helping society progress through the final 3 stages of fermentation, distillation, and coagulation. How do we do this? That is where the art of alchemy comes in. And she quotes Hermes Trismegistus here. Quote, "Thou shalt separate the earth from the fine, the subtle from the gross, gently and with great ingenuity." Unquote. If you take a moment to go back to the original descriptions given in this book for the 7 alchemical stages, refer to chapter 2, you will see that these stages require deeper work that takes place first within the alchemist before they can be manifested outwardly. The only kinds of driving forces or motives that are pure enough to successfully go the distance with the alchemical process are such qualities as cultivating greater vision, having commitment and devotion to higher purpose, looking inwardly to soul search, flaming the inner fires of passion and joy, striving to constantly elevate consciousness and raise vibration, and being in true service to the whole. Any ego-based desires or attachments that pollute our intentions will cause us to get knocked back down for more recycling through the first 4 stages until we become pure enough. What can we do to cultivate these higher qualities within us and truly become alchemical leaders? Throughout history, such charismatic leaders have been trained in the art of alchemical living. They learn to integrate into their daily lives practices such as meditation, mindfulness, overcoming fear, quieting the mind, expanding awareness, studying the deeper mysteries of life, mastering themselves, pursuing personal healing, harnessing the power of thought and intention, and coming to truly understand service from a spiritual perspective. In addition to these qualities, an alchemical life is also one that the great depth psychologist Carl Jung would call a symbolic life, a life that incorporates some form of sacred ritual on a regular basis to help the individual rise above the mundane, reaching higher levels of consciousness and transcendence. Fortunately, today there are many more opportunities available for cultivating such characteristics and art of alchemical living, opportunities that once were reserved for only the few. In addition to embracing a conscious lifestyle and practicing techniques like meditation, qigong, sacred ritual, receiving healing, being a good person, and doing service, there is another key that has often empowered some of the most transformative leaders of history. That key is what is known as initiation into the ancient wisdom traditions. That's the ancient mystery schools. Many of the techniques that have been mentioned here above all originally came out of the ancient wisdom traditions from around the world. Initiation into the ancient mysteries is a powerful method of spiritual alchemy that transforms the individual's life from an ordinary existence to an extraordinary one. In other words, never mind. Receiving initiation in a valid tradition will accelerate your path to achieving your full potential, bring you to a point where you can continuously create success from the inside out, help you find deeper meaning in life by more fully connecting you with who you truly are, and how many cults have promised that. Reveal a pattern for life that empowers you to master yourself and your impact on the world. Bring clarity to what the purpose of your life is and how to fulfill it. Help you break free from the matrix of societal conditioning and, break free from the matrix of societal conditioning and become conditioned by another cult. Unbrainwash you from one, system and then brainwash you into entirely the other one. So anyways, that leads to discontentment and feeling trapped or stagnated in life. Tap you into greater joy, hope, growth, meaning, a like-minded community. Give you the knowledge, techniques, and empowerment to create the life you were born to live, and much, much more. The benefits of receiving an authentic initiation are usually noticeable within just a few months and are sustainable over time. The more you continue to utilize the practices taught, the more you continue to benefit. The power and authenticity of initiation rests upon the history and authority of the lineage that backs it up. The kinds of things you should look for when seeking an initiatory path include a lineage whose roots extend back hundreds to thousands of years, methods and practices that have stood the test of time, a tradition that upholds the integrity of its knowledge and methods without distorting them through individual egos, a philosophy and practice that empowers individuals to become their own masters, rather than one that suggests you must give your power away to someone else as your master or mediator. A system of universal teachings that are diverse and can be adapted to modern ways of life, rather than one that has stagnated or clings to outworn ideologies. A focus and mission that is positive, something you align with and that addresses the needs of the times. Has a history or track record of training multiple notable people, rather than focusing solely on the teaching of one man or woman. Is not a New Age fad that lacks foundation, depth of understanding, and reliability. Well, what you teach is a New Age fad, because that's what the New Age really is. It's the religion of the Illuminati. It's the religion of the mystery schools. It is an extension of these ancient wisdom traditions. One that delivers maximum energetic impact through in-person teaching and oral handling down of methods, and is not just doing everything through written or virtual correspondence or other distance learning alone. One in which you are consistently consistently apply the methods handed down to your daily life. You experience positive, tangible results over time, and that's it of all the, whatever. But notice that you could find any cult, any organization that you gotta, find. You gotta first find the cult, and then you pay your way in, and they promise you all this stuff, and it just winds up being another, mind control fraud of a cult. Just saying, it sounds like it. So when it comes to valid initiatory traditions, the options are fewer. However, we are privileged to live in times when the opportunity to find such a path is much more accessible today than ever before. Usually, the key holders who can offer initiations into a valid tradition are associated with an authentic mystery school, mystical path, or shamanic tribe. Some such groups are still operating in secrecy and are by invitation only. Oh, but that must mean they're good guys. While others have opened their doors to sincere seekers who are ready to serve a higher purpose. One such group is the modern mystery school. The ancient wisdom traditions and valid mystery schools not only hold the keys and understanding to the alchemical process, but they are also dedicated to helping make this world a better place to live in. They possess the knowledge and solutions that can be applied to create a more sustainable, sounds like Agenda 21, and enlightened way of life. Having assisted humanity through its great transitions many times in the past, their experience, guidance, and wisdom are invaluable for times such as these. This is why they have re-emerged into the open at this time to assist in humanity's next great evolutionary leap. You mean humanity's next great, enslavement leap in the New World Socialist Collectivist Order. They have re-emerged into the open. Well, it's because it's part of the externalizing the hierarchy. They're coming out in the open as our masters, openly calling for world government. So, at this point in our current evolutionary cycle as a society, it is still difficult to say how the later stages of our alchemical process will unfold and whether we will reach our goal of creating a better world. So, anyways, there's one more very short page, and I'll just finish this up really quick. With this clear awareness of the natural cycles we must go through as we evolve and transform, these questions remain. Can we, the imaginal cells of humanity, get conscious enough, intentional enough, and united enough to harness these forces of change? Can we learn to rise above the mundane in order to steer our evolution towards a new era of greater harmony and integration? New World Order language. Harmony, integration, becoming one, new era. They said that how can we steer humanity towards that. So, I am personally passionate about seeing humanity in our world successfully transform and emerge as a magnificent butterfly. My life and my work are dedicated to exploring the how and to training others to become alchemical leaders of change. You mean mind-controlled, brainwashed dupes that are helping, the masters, the occult masters, achieve their goal. World domination. So anyways, by once again embracing the archetypes of the alchemist or the wizard, we can rediscover the secrets of how to accelerate this experiment in societal alchemy and succeed at achieving a greater level of harmony, prosperity, sustainability, and conscious participation in shaping our world. I invite you to join me in this work and learn those higher principles, methods, and ways of creating sustainable ships. She loves that word, sustainability, sustainable, sustainable ships that are aligned with the new paradigm. In all that I offer, my goal is to empower you, the imaginal cells of humanity, to be conscious participants in this process of evolution. You mean this process of enslavement, to become alchemists of social change. So, yep, and that's her here. So, should read that. I already told you before in previous videos I love to underline stuff. So, yep. So this was another propaganda promoting Sustainable Development Agenda 21, New World Order, Green Tyranny propaganda book. And finally got through it. I have some more books I would like to share and read. But, yep, so... Wow, look at the time. This is shorter than my last two. I had lost 2 subscribers by making my last video. So, while I'm not interested in popularity anyways, I still wonder, is it, I know I'm not the best entertainer. I use this platform to share the knowledge that I have learned, and I try to do the best I can to do it. But I thought maybe I didn't do the greatest job with my second video. Maybe I was adding too much of my commentary on it, and I should just read it. Maybe people will just understand it when you read it. Sometimes I feel like that since not many people read this stuff, that I have to sort of commentate on what I'm reading to help understand what she might be saying, but maybe I don't need to do that. And so if I had lost 2 subscribers for that reason or whatever reason, I do apologize. But like I said, this is not for popularity. I know the truth will never be popular. I'm not a good entertainer like Alex Jones or them big guys, and I don't really want to be that anyways. I would just want to be a simple, humble guy who wants to share the truth with his fellow neighbors in the best possible way I can. And I'm glad that there's still people that listen and watch this channel and that appreciate the stuff that I share. And if that means that that's only 2 subscribers, 2 people that watch this, then I think that's good enough. Obviously not good enough to muster any force against it, but it's the fact that through my labor, I have been able to reach 1 or 2 people. And those 1 or 2 people are going to share, stuff as well. And so, either way, it's a positive step. But I don't like losing subscribers at the same time. And I would like to know if am I putting too much of my commentary on it that I don't need to? Or, something. Or am I overdoing it? Not summarizing things enough? Just making it simple? I don't know, but if anybody watching this could let me know, that'd be great. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.